What's up guys, Octane Restoration Small Engine Repair, and today we are back with a Craftsman push mower that we got for free. So this is her. Doesn't look in bad shape. You know, you come up here, you see a few things that are off whenever you try to pull this lever. You know, this cable doesn't pull very much at all. But all in all, it doesn't seem like it's a bad machine. Now the front wheels are crooked, so we are going to have to straighten those out. But it's got good compression, so we figure we can get her running. So I'm going to switch this to the other side and see if it works any better. So it pulls both of them quite a bit, and it swings back just like it's supposed to. I like that way better. Now onto this. As you can see, so before starting it, always, check your oil, make sure you have enough in there. As you can see, it's got some, but it's on the very bottom of the dipstick under the below arrow. So I'm just going to put a touch of oil in it. Definitely not a lot, I'm going to change this oil anyways. So if I had a little bit of waste oil like that I just pulled out of a lawnmower that was pretty clean, I wouldn't have any hesitation putting it in there just to see if it'll start, because like I said, it's going to get changed anyways. So I don't even know if it does have some gas in there, but it smells pretty bad. Going to start with taking off the air filter. Actually, heck, let's try to start it without starter fluid and see what happens. This is how I go about diagnosing all of my small engines, because using starter fluid is one of the easiest ways to check compression and spark. If it's got both of those, which at the right timing, then it'll at least run for a little bit, and then it's a fueling issue, which is somewhere from the gas tank to the carburetor, or inside the carburetor. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to try to start it. If it doesn't start, then I'll spray some starter fluid in there, and if it turns over, we have spark and compression, and then we have to chase down fuel. Who needs air filters, right? As you can see, that carburetor inside there, like I said, this is just simply a diagnostic, and I'm just seeing if it has spark and compression. If it tries to start or if it runs, I'm going to kill it. Just, you don't want any of that dirt getting sucked up in there. It's not even a bad idea to just blow it out right now. So now, a little bit of starting fluid. So, as you heard, she tried to start. So, she's trying to start. We know that it has spark and compression, so we're going to take off this carburetor, rebuild it. We're going to drain this tank, put fresh gas in, and see if she's going to run. So obviously we're going to need a air filter for this. Like I said, I don't recommend running them at all without them. Only reason I did right there is, again, just for a diagnostic feature. So sometimes there's 4 bolts, sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 8s and 10s. This piece is broken right here, so normally, you know, you could take this off, or in this case, leave it on. But we are going to clean the back of this too. There's a gasket back here. Don't lose that. That's what connects the carb to the air filter. So now you got a clear view inside there. As you can see, it is in pretty bad shape. So there's 2 bolts back in here on this model. Should be 10s. Can get us a little more room in here. Normally with a 1/4 inch drive with a long extension, you can get to both of these pretty easy. And bam, 5 bolts, you have the carburetor off. So one thing to be careful about, so you want to try to not mess with these springs if possible. Like this piece. Probably just going to take that off. And this spring, so this spring right here is what controls your RPM. So these springs, you just want to be mindful of where they're at and you want to be careful. What I'll probably do is just get that bolt right there. I think that's maybe like a 4.5, 5. Nah, maybe more like a 6. It's a small one. But we're going to get that taken off, which this assembly will pop out, and then we'll just be able to take our carburetor off. Remember, you also got this fuel line too. So I'm going to get some pliers to take this bolt out. So you get the fuel line, there should be a clamp, and then you can get a flat blade screwdriver in this little space right here. And whenever you pry it off, gas is going to come out of there, as you can see. But so what I have right here is, this is just a set of quote-unquote fuel line pliers that I got off Amazon. They didn't work very well, as you can see by the immense amount of electrical tape. But you can put this right here, and you can clamp it down, and that will stop the flow going to the carburetor. Let me see if I can get you all taller over here. Now it's better. So once you got the line clamped off, like I said, these pliers don't work well at all, as you can see by the immense amount of tape on them. I have some angled ones that are way better, but this gas doesn't look bad. I'm afraid there might be some water in it, but so what I'm going to do is just going to drain the entire contents of the fuel tank out of here. Try to get it in the bottom of my shop. So you see, if you get these right, this tape just kept on slipping, then you can kind of shut off. But they make metal ones, like I said, I've got some that have a 90-degree angle, and those work great. These ones, there's just too big of a gap. These straight ones, so I wouldn't recommend straight ones at all. So I'll just get y'all back whenever this is drained. So you see, after readjusting, now it's fine. I'm not seeing any water contamination right off the bat. Doesn't mean it's not in there, but normally whenever these set outside, water tends to collect inside the gas tank. So, and we do have all of this over here that isn't really evaporating. You know, fresh gasoline evaporates pretty quick. And this is evaporating fairly quick. There's just a few streaks in here that, you know, kind of look like water. But the actual gasoline itself looks decent. That was in there. I think we got this for free probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when I haven't put gas in it. So the gas is at least that old. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tilt it over. Just make sure we get all of it out there. Clamp it off. There's still some gas sitting in right here. So what I like to do is I like to tilt the mower back this way and then to the side, and that brings all of it right here to the lowest point. And then when we open this up, we should get a little more out of there. Yep. So there is a lot of crud in this gas tank that I can just see, like dirt and stuff. So we're definitely gonna flush it. But now we're gonna work on getting a car for like $5. And it comes with small sizes like this one. Is it a 7? Nope. Like I said, I figured it's gonna be a 6 or a 5. There's a 6 mil. Nope, 6.5. And it's weird, it's actually came in really handy for stuff like this. You wanna hold this whole thing steady while you do it, because like I said, you don't wanna break that metal piece. Sorry, you don't wanna break the plastic piece. One thing I would recommend though, before you take this all off, is there's a little, sometimes it's a half, sometimes it's a 13 little, it's what the jet flows through down here on the bottom. This one, loosen this before you take those bolts out fully. Otherwise, you're gonna get it off, you're gonna take it to the place, and you're gonna find out that it's pretty difficult. So I just got those bolts threaded in enough that it'll hold it. So like I said, normally it's a 12, 13 millimeter, half inch. Here's a 12. Nope. So let's try a half inch. 7/16. Here's our half. Our half inch fits perfectly. Like I said, you don't have to fully take this out. You just want to loosen it. And gasoline's going to drain out because this is what holds the float bowl on. Now I'm just going to finish taking off this top one with my 6.5. I'm just going to set that. You see how the spring's holding it right there? I'm just going to leave that right there. And then the only other thing connecting it is the throttle, which is this right here, which this spring connects to. So I'm just going to twist this gently off of that line right there. And so all the carburetor is made of is passages, whether that's passages for gasoline to flow through or it's passages for air to flow through. That's pretty much 99% of this carburetor. Now you have what's called a float, which is where gasoline sits inside to get drawn into the engine, which this is the float bowl. And then this is what's called a jet. So gasoline goes into this jet and it gets sucked up. And that's how this works in a pretty rudimentary way. It's called Venturi's principle. There's a lot of good videos on it. I'll go in depth into carburetor one of these days. But as you can see, there's a lot of green in here. So I can tell this is gonna be bad whenever we crack it open. On these, some of these will have 2 Phillips heads that you gotta take off, 2 JIS. But this one, all it has is the one right there. So you just wanna gently tap the outside. You don't wanna cause damage or anything. If you create a little gap right there, you can get a screwdriver and squeeze it on the inside right there, but we need a little bit more. As you can see, it's starting to pop open. A rubber mallet's really good for this. You just don't want to bend this. And, oh yeah. See how nice and green that is? Just gonna set this over here, and I'll show you inside here. So that's supposed to be completely clean. That's not supposed to have anything at all. And as you can see, unfortunately, has a lot of contaminants. Now what you'll need to clean this carburetor is some carburetor cleaner, a wire brush, a paintbrush, and some pliers. So first things first, we need to spray this and get this clean. You just use the carburetor cleaner. Be sure to keep this away from rubber gasket seals. There's a rubber ring that goes around this flow bowl right here. Sometimes it's on the flow bowl, sometimes it gets stuck to the carburetor. You want to try to keep as much of this off of that as possible. This will make this swell and make it really tight to get back in there. So we're just gonna go ahead, spray this out.
If you still got stuff sticking around in there, that's where a paintbrush comes into play. I also like using a toothbrush. They were pretty good. An air compressor, you know, to blow it out also works well. So the rest of this is just corrosion around the outside ring. You just want to make sure all the dirt and contaminants are out. Wear gloves when you do this. So the inside's clean. You can clean the outside if you want. If this is your first time, I'd recommend it. Clean the outside first though, because it'll get gunk back inside your carburetor. But the stuff on the outside won't affect it from running. But you know, when stuff looks good, but you know, the better something looks, the better it runs. What my dad used to always tell me. So this piece is good. We can set this aside. It's good to have a paper towel or a towel or something, not on the ground where there's dirt and stuff, that you can set your work pieces. If this is your first time, you can use a cardboard box, something big, and that way you can just set everything in order from the first bolt you took out, and then you just install it in reverse. So this is called a float. There's this little plunger right here. Gasoline comes from the gas tank into here and into this little plunger. Now whenever this chamber fills with gasoline, that plunger, as you can see, it's called a needle. It sets up against there and it shuts off the flow of gasoline. A lot of times these can stick. You just want to make sure that it moves freely. You can spray some carb cleaner in there. You can pull it out like this. And you know, as you can see, there's a hole. This one wasn't having any problem getting inside the carburetor though. So since we've got it off though, I'm just going to give it a nice little spritz. As you see, it comes out the other end, so that's good. And again, remember, watch this ring. Now, so we got these little passages. There's a lot of little passages in this. Pretty much anywhere you see a little hole, right here, right here, right here, right there, in there. You want to spray carburetor cleaner until you see it exit the carburetor. So like this one, you see this passage goes to right here. So you do that, you know that part's clean. This we need to spray. So you look right here and you spray this. And as you saw, it came out right here. There's just a lot of gunk right here, so I'm spraying it out. You can tilt it up like this, and that'll keep it from getting on this rubber gasket right here. So we've sprayed gas through all of the little passages. It goes where it's supposed to. This part right here though, I am just going to take a brush, and I'm going to brush this part clean right here. Just because I don't want any of this gunk to get sucked back into the engine or the carburetor. As you can see, these passages are tiny. Now what you can do if one of these is clogged and fluid won't go past it, also you want to check and make sure all these spin freely, which these do, so these are perfect. You can spray some WD-40 in there if you're having problems. So at this point, what you can do if one of these passages are clogged, this is where the wire brush comes into play. So I just get this cheap wire brush. I believe I got this one from Dollar Tree. So I actually don't have a filter. This is what's called a pre-filter. So this would sit right here over the top of your other filter, and it just helps catch dirt and moisture, stuff like that. Like I said, I'm just going to start this up and kill it quickly. I just want to see if it'll run. This gas we put in there. So what I'm going to do, put this on, and we're going to run. If so, should kill it. And then I'm going to pick up a proper filter. So there's a little breather hose right here that comes off the crankcase. This one goes right here, which in turn goes up there. It's just an emissions thing. You just want to make sure that's in the proper place it goes. Don't forget your gasket. Remember that gasket we took off? That goes up against your filter. Just put it on there at this point. Line up your holes. And start my end. Like I said, this mower, these are 8s. On some of them, there's some 7mm, some 10mm. You're running all different sizes. Don't cross thread anything. So let's get touch longer, so I'll get up here. Let's see. Oh, it does. One reason I'm okay with using this 4-inch rod is this one's pretty weak on it. Like this one doesn't put a lot of force at all. So let's try it. Like I said, this isn't a substitute for the paper filter, but it'll just help a little bit, so we can test this out. Put some gas in it, we'll pull it. I don't like to put a lot of gas in there just in case something waste, but this will be enough gas in there to tell it to run. Go back and get it in there. Take it off. There we go. What do y'all think? How many pulls? Let me know in the comments. How many pulls it'll take? You know, one pull, obviously we did it. More than that means you don't believe it. Let's try it. Boom, baby. Just like that, first pull. Try it again.
man, that sounds good. That sounds healthy. Now all we need is an air filter for it. Figure out the self-propel system. Why it ain't working. And then after an oil change and blades and stuff, clean the spark plug, we're gonna be in business. And we gotta straighten the front wheels. But we'll do that all next episode. So guys, we are back with this Craftsman. And we got an air filter for it. So we're just gonna install that. And like I said, this one has a green foam pre-filter. So this one goes in front of the paper. So this one has this foam pre-filter that goes like that. That's just to help catch, you know, some of the more dirt and stuff like that. That's all it is another layer of protection. Most of these won't have them. But if I got it, you know, might as well use it. As long as this box seats correctly, you know, there's no issue for not using it. So there we go. It is properly seated. Gasket looks good all around. So now this one's ready for a oil change, a blade sharpening, a wash, and to see why the propel isn't working. Then it should be ready to go. Oh, and we gotta fix the front tires.
And as you can see, the gear looks pretty good, but it's the wheel that looks bad. It's not lining up very well, is it? So this wheel wouldn't be bad for a push mower without the propelled, you know, to just stick it on if it's just something that you're going to push yourself. But I'm going to see if I have an extra set of wheels that'll fit these gears. The other side, like I said, the other side looks just as bad. Yep, looks just as bad. The gear's turning both sides though. Like I said, this doesn't move the hole. All it has is a bearing on the inside of these wheels, and it just spins on top of that. I'm going to hunt down some wheels for this, see if we have any in our bin. And if so, I'm going to grease this, slap them on, and take her to Dodge City. So can you see those teeth? They have to line up. Right there, dude. This slap on way easier. So if you have extra one of these, what this does is this keeps rocks and stuff from getting inside those gears and inside the plastic teeth, which, you know, can beat the plastic teeth. If I have some extra one of these, I put some new ones on, but I don't, so after I hold back on, here's your 9/16, wherever you left it. Now we can find it back up. There we go. And then this side, same process. This is way too much, you know, you don't need near this much. It's all going to come out anyways. I don't need additional thin layer. Some people grease these gears, which that's fine, there's less friction. One thing greasing these gears does is it tends to like glue on there. So, like I said, some people do it. If these were metal teeth, I have no hesitation doing it, but you know, because they are plastic teeth, I don't want excessive dirt to go up inside there. So same process. Twist the wheels as you push it on. Tighten it up. Light the camera. I always follow after my impact because I impact pretty weak. Now we got that done. We're gonna take this off, should be an angle here, and see how this all sits. All this has is the belt system from the self-propelled part of the mower, which, you know, turns right there. So yeah, this spins freely, but there we go. See, we twist this, and the wheels move. So, man, this is working properly. That's sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and blow some dust out of there. So it looks like, you can see it does look like it takes the belt, which makes me think it works. Let's try. So it's 1, 2. But these wheels don't want to spin freely. Don't twist it. Remember, the wheel needs to be on bottom. So we're gonna figure out. That's pulling belt out there, so that should be working. So all we gotta figure out is now why those front wheels aren't wanting to turn. Maybe they're just, maybe I didn't see what's inside, never mind. We'll go ahead and we'll test that tomorrow. That's all the time I got for today. This is Octane Restorations. Thanks for watching. So I was trying to figure out, for the life of me, why whenever I put the nut on, this wheel wouldn't spin. You know, it seems like it was catching right there. Well, we take a look, and this washer's not supposed to be there. The only thing I can think of is whenever someone tried to fix this, they put the washer behind there. Try to make it maybe grab better, I don't know. But that washer was making that nut sit too far forward and sit up against the wheel, and it was clamping down on the wheel instead of that rod. So we're going to put this back on, and I bet it's going to be perfect. Do spin freely. Got some little bit of a hiccup right here. This little wheel cover. See if I can force it in there. Now it's so broken the battery doesn't stay. But it rolls really well now. So I don't know what the thought process was with putting these washers here. I should have caught that whenever I replaced the wheel, but I didn't. But we were able to get it sorted out, and we took care of it. So now it is time to clean the spark plug. We got the filter changed. Got fresh oil in there. This thing's just going to be ready to sell after we wash it off. Oh, and we got to sharpen the blade. So guys, we got the wheels put on. Pushing fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see if the self-propel works, and we're going to try to start it and just cut a strip out right here. So how many pulls y'all think it'll take? Y'all believe in me, or let's see how much y'all just believe in me. I'm saying 3 pulls. Now let's go 1 pull. It's a 1 pull kind of day. First pull, it's going to start. Guys, that's with the exhaust cold. See? That is a cold start right there. Yeah, man, we're in business. Can't believe y'all doubted me. I told you first one.
So we put it right here. You ready? Press this. Press this. Oh, the other way, silly. Do we get it off? Ooh, look at that. Oh,
What's that? Is that quick? Say, Mama, there's so many things for me to play with on this.
Oh, it's fine.
Say, there's so many things for me to do. No, it's nasty. Yes, you. Okay. Go outside. Go. Go. Wait, wait, wait. What's there? Is the screwdriver over there? Which one started on me? Oh, yeah. Oh, what's this? No, it's in here. Which one is it, Wesley? Oh, it's the big one. Protecting it. Right over there. Fix it. Did you? Yeah. What do you mean? No. No, that's you. You want to put the spark plug? Okay, over here. Over this side. Okay, ready? Here, go. You want the spark plug? No. It's outside. You fixing it? How's it working? Is it good? Ooh, the tire. Tire needs fixing too. Oh, that tire needs fixing too. That's crazy. How's it go? You fix it? Yeah. It looks fixed. Hey, that what about those? What sharp plug you have? What's your early sharp rate? Oh, I got the thing. You know how long each point will take? Oh, there we go. Push it over. Ready? That's the other. Screwdriver, go in there. Get right here. There. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that goes on there. Good job. How'd you know that? Who's been teaching you? Who've you been learning from, huh? Tell me.
Wire brush.
Is that going in? A little more, okay? Yeah, I know. Perfect. Oh! No. Okay, keep the cap on. Good job. Raindrop. Stop. Wesley's raining. You got it. Oh.
sir. LA's totally awesome. Be greasy. You gonna help? Okay. I want you to press this button. Press this button. Press this button. Good job. High five. One more. One more. Good job. What do I say, Wesley? That ain't going nowhere. No, be careful. That blade's sharp, okay?
Is that you?
Here's you ready. Stay right here. No, Wesley, stay over here.
Excuse me, baby. Here, Mom's gonna hold you while Daddy turns on.
Okay, Wesley, you ready? One pull. One.
Ready?
Pull.